everybody, hello and welcome as always. I'm Sean and this is In The Mixer, episode 70. It's the end of another week, it's the end of another season, our second season in League 2. And also on a personal note, a massive episode. I mentioned it in the intro to yesterday's video, but with this episode, this actually becomes the longest running series that I've ever done across YouTube. And we're nowhere near complete. We've got so much stuff that I want to work through. We've got more one season wonder saves, there's a variety of different stuff. It's way earlier in the year than eventually where #United finished up just before FM20 came out. And if you've watched even one singular second, and this is probably the furthest you've gotten to a video if that's the case, of the content in this series on this channel, thank you from the bottom of my heart. The support for this series has been absolutely fantastic. I'm appreciating everybody that's watching each day. I'm appreciating everyone that's commenting, reaching out on Twitter, all that sort of great stuff. I'm never really worried about like subscriber counts or views or anything like that. I just want to make the content as good as it can possibly be for the people that are taking the time to watch it. So thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And this is just the start. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The series, the channel, it's going to continue to grow. We've got a whole bunch of different milestones that can kind of come up throughout the course of this year as well. But I just wanted to take a quick minute to thank everyone that has helped us get through to this point. I do appreciate it a tremendous amount. Also, you will have already noticed we've suited up, not because we have a cup final or anything like that. We're suiting up because there is silverware to be won. Let's jump into the game here and take you through a recap of the last couple of games. As you guys can see, we have guaranteed promotion. We are going to be playing championship football regardless of what happens here today. We are going to finish in the top two spots. There's no way for Oxford, currently down in third position, or Sunderland down in fourth place, to actually catch up to ourselves or Charlton. And we do find ourselves 2 points clear with 2 games to play. We were behind Charlton up until the last game. It has been topsy-turvy. It has been up and down. You can see we were first for quite a few weeks here, about 6 weeks in a row. And then we dropped off for 3 weeks in a row where we went down into second spot. Charlton moving up into first. Thankfully, we got a fantastic victory in the last game against third-placed Oxford, which pretty much put their title hopes to bed. Actually, I'll go through the full results. So I don't want to get too caught up in that particular game just yet. But since we last played, that 1-1 draw with QPR, that 1-0 win against Forest Green, which we desperately needed to turn around our poor March form. We did also follow it up with a 2-1 defeat to Wimbledon. Devastating in this one. Wimbledon have continually been a side that have kind of been a bit of a bogey team. I just can't consistently beat them. And Jack Marriott bobbed up in the 94th minute to get the winner in that contest and send them through as 2-1 victors. We did manage to turn it around and get a 2-0 victory against Hull. Rafinha got the early goal. Grant Davies came off the bench and got one late on to give us a 2-0 victory there, but it was nervy. We never quite looked like we were going to pull away from them at any point. I think they had a couple of good opportunities that kind of got rid of as well. And then a massive fixture. It was second v third at the time. If Oxford had beaten us, they would have gone above us going into the match. It was topsy-turvy. We went through an early Mark Birch goal, and then Finlay Thorndike immediately 2 minutes later brought them straight back into it. We got another one just before half-time, taking a 2-1 lead into the second half. We dropped off a little bit, probably too much in hindsight. They did get a penalty in the 47th minute, and then late doors, Rafinha thankfully found a winner in the 78th minute. A lovely little run and finish near post from him to get us the 3-2 victory and push us back up to the top of the division. Charlton, having only drawn their game in the last league fixture, has managed to bring us back to the top of the table. It is ours to lose from this point, and we've got Scunthorpe down in 22nd. If you think back to the rest of this week, a lot of these previous episodes, we have struggled against teams down towards the bottom of the division. Scunthorpe are already literally relegated next season. They've got nothing to play for. So there's really no better mix of circumstances and pressures for them to actually turn around and belt us 3-0 here, because that's just the way that the game works sometimes. Then last game of the season, we've got Salford. They do have a little bit to play for. They're still trying to work their way into this 6th place position and play off football for this year. They're currently 2 points off that. I don't think they're going to catch Blackpool on 71 points. So if they get the win, Exeter, Wigan drop points, it's going to be a massive game for them as well. So 2 tremendously large challenges. We're also going to go quickly and have a look at the last 2 games for Charlton here. If we look at their senior squad schedule, they have been in a pretty good run of form, kind of almost the reverse to us. They kind of struggled in February when we did quite well. And then in March, when we were struggling, they actually picked up 8 points during that time, eventually leapfrogging us. A good 4-1 win to start April, a good 1-0 win against Port Vale as well. And thank God for QPR bailing us out here, getting that 1-0 victory to put us back up in the top spot. But they're going to play Forest Green, who are down in 14th, who we know are a good side and can score against teams on their day, and Wimbledon, who funnily enough just beat us earlier this month. So if they can pull out a similar result to finish their season, I would appreciate it a tremendous amount. Don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled to be promoted. It is a fantastic achievement. 2 seasons to get out of League One is very, very impressive. It's a massive task next year in the Championship, but I want to go up with a league title. It's just that little extra topping on top of your Sunday, if you understand what I'm talking about there. As far as the squad is concerned, we're pretty much operating threadbare at the moment. We don't have a tremendous amount of depth outside of the first team. Franz Wolf has a bit of a knock. He should be okay for the game, I think. Preston Kelly's out for the rest of the season. He's out for another 2 months with his injury. Tyrone Taylor's suspended. Kingsley Smith is suspended. It's going to be a backup central defensive line. There's a whole bunch of different stuff going on. We might as well jump into the game. I'll go through the two lineups and do a bit of a preview for the Scunthorpe side as well. All right, so this is the lineup that we're going with. Donkin in goal, and this is where it's kind of a little bit scary, is that we've got Coates and McCluskey as the central defensive partnership. Both are playing in their preferred roles in that shape. Both of them are okay players, but it's not our first choice defensive lineup. It does kind of mess with our team chemistry just a little bit, if you believe in such a thing. Morris will play at left fullback. Wright will take the captain's armband today and play at right back. Dean and Rafinha have been magnificent all season. Wolf and Wademan have been absolutely fantastic the entire year. That midfield four has been immense for us. They are really, the consistency that they've offered, the performances that we've gotten consistently, I think they're all over an average of 7.04 average ratings for the season itself. The consistency that we've gotten out of that midfield four has been absolutely immense. And there aren't a tremendous amount of games that Wademan's missed, that Wolf's missed at any point. And really, they have been the basis of a lot of what we've tried to do. Knowles will play at the 10. He has struggled. He hasn't scored that much in the second half of the season. We've played Birch the last few games and he has gotten amongst the goals, which is fantastic to see. 7 goals from only 11 starts is a very impressive return for a guy that is effectively like a 4th or 5th choice striker once we had everybody fit available before transfers, before injuries, all that sort of stuff. Looking over at Scunthorpe, they've gone very narrow. This 4-4-2, I think, kind of plays into what we're trying to do. If we can get good combinations between the two fullbacks and the wingers, I think we're going to be in a really good position to make the most out of that outside space. And Wolf has been immense. He's like him anchoring midfield. He can deal with 2 or 3 players in the same space, and I'm not super concerned about it. They do have some good players, though. They've got Barnes, who actually played for us last season. 14 appearances for us last year. He was our backup right fullback. They're playing him in central midfield, which I find very interesting. Capped at under 23 level by Australia after coming through the West Ham Academy. Still has that fantastic chilled moose face pack there. I'm going to leave them up on players as they leave the club. And we'll continue to get new ones each year. They've got Andre Dozel, who's a very, very good player, 28 years of age. Starts the game at Ipswich. He's played at Plymouth a little bit as well. And now down at Scunthorpe. He's had a very good season, 7.17 as an average rating for the season. Kind of makes sense that he's got that little star next to him in a relegated side. Luke Plange, who came through the Arsenal Academy. We actually looked at this guy back when he got released from Arsenal and just couldn't actually sign him. He eventually went to Cardiff, then Oxford, Rochdale, whoever else. Who knows how the story would have been a little bit different had we picked him up earlier in the save. But a very, very good player, a proper poacher striker off the shoulder of the last man. At the back here, they've got Suleiman, who I think is their best defender. He comes through the Aston Villa Academy. He looks to be a very solid player, some good technical attributes for a defender. Can play at right back. They're using him at centre back today, which he's also comfortable with. And Cameron Borthwick-Jackson, he had a phenomenal time under Louis van Gaal at Man United, made a good amount of first team appearances, has kind of dropped off a fair bit, as far as this game universe is concerned, has played at Scunthorpe now for a good few seasons, disappeared for a bit to some other teams before returning to Scunthorpe, where he is currently seeing out the season. So some very good players, some good depth, some high quality regens coming through and playing in the further areas of the pitch for them. We have to be at our best to beat them. We're going to go positive from the start so that we at least have a platform to move to attacking if we need to. But in reality, we should have enough to get beyond these guys. We just have to hold our nerve a little bit. Assertively, I'm going to say we should be winning this one fairly comfortably. Play your own game and you win. It's a weird time to do a risky one, but I'm just going to give it a whirl. It seems to have worked okay. I'm going to assertively tell the defence as well. I have faith in them. If we keep a clean sheet in this game, we will be well and truly on our way to a league title. Otherwise, we're going to bottle it. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've been watching a ton of Glory Hunter lately. If we do bottle it, I'm definitely going to blame other content creators and not take any accountability for myself. Long ball forward here. Coach should bring it down. It's a poor header, but we've gotten away with it there a little bit. Rafinha looks for Birch out into the left-hand channel. Just slow down, wait for the men to get there in the middle. Plays it across to the Wolf now. Over to the right-hand side. Can Dean skip past the challenge of the fullback? Hangs one back stick towards Birch. He does get the header back across, but it was pretty tame effort. And Hall does well to get down to his left and hold. Is that the end of the highlight? We're going to see some further play here. Flick on there from Roberts, the Scunthorpe forward, but McCluskey's tidied up quite well. Ball in behind for Birch. Suleiman with a good header away. The Wolf flicks it out to the left-hand side. Rafinha can go at his man here. Get to the byline, please. I think he's won a penalty, and he has. He's got the opportunity to take it. I never actually changed it back to Dwayne Record after he left. Rafinha, I think the last penalty he took in an episode, missed it. He's got an opportunity for redemption now, and he takes the opportunity with aplomb. 12th goal of the season for him. Fantastic left-footed strike. Sends the keeper the wrong way, and we get a goal advantage in the 8th minute. I'm just going to tidy this up because there's probably going to be all kinds of press photos and stuff that they're going to want me to jump in at the end of this one if things stay as they currently are. As we look around the grounds, where are Charlton? What are they doing? Oh, we've got a corner here. We'll take this first. Wademan to take. It's pinballing around. We've managed to scramble at home. Franz Wolf with his debut goal for the club and his first senior goal in senior football. I'm not sure what happened here. It looked like it might have been one of those ones that potentially the ref was going to call back for a split second. Wademan with a good ball in. Coates with the header, and then Wolf somehow just gets a little touch on it as it goes beyond the goalkeeper. Keeper did get a big chunk of it. Could have gone anywhere, but I'll definitely take it. Charlton already 1-0 up against Forest Green. Clough getting the goal for them. Hopefully Forest Green can come back into it a little bit. Otherwise, we're going to go all the way to the wire in the final game of the season. Right with the ball now. We've got 3 men in the corner here if we work the triangle correctly. Play through to the Wolf. Now right. Back to the Wolf again. Just find feet, boys. Just keep possession. Don't rush anything. Crossfield switch towards Wademan. Could have kept going out the left-hand side. Instead, we've flicked it on. And Birch has gotten there first for his 8th goal of the season. His goals in this last 5 games or so have been absolutely immense. Davis, I don't know what's going on with Davies, to be honest. He was a player that I didn't expect to play that much this season. He was brought in as like a luxury 5th-choice striker. He had a magnificent opening of the season while Record was injured. And then I don't know what's happened since January. He just hasn't been at that level. And I think we might be looking at potentially moving him on and trying to get a bit of a profit out of him. But a wonderful finish from Mark Birch, who's making the most of his opportunity in the side. 10 minutes remaining before half. I'm just going to say demand more, just to give everyone some focus through to half time, I should say. Dean with the corner here, finds Rafinha. Ball in from Dean. McCluskey was in the area. It's headed away, but Wademan should recover. Can we reset? Just hold on to possession, boys. No need to force anything. Right works back through McCluskey. Right again. Back to McCluskey. Right again. Back to McCluskey. And sends one ball over the top. It was never really on. Probably just needed to keep it a little bit longer there. Dozell with a good ball in behind for Roberts. He hasn't got much of an angle to work at. McCluskey did quite well to get back and block the shot. Roberts in the corner. Wright's gone through him and he's given away the throw in. I thought for a second that was going to be a free kick unnecessarily. 2 minutes to be added on here. It's been an excellent first half to be 3-0 up. And the referee calls half-time. They've had 2 shots, but none on target, 37% possession. We've had 10 shots, 7 on target, and 63% of the ball. There's not really anything other to say than say, I'm very pleased with the performance, boys. And I guess we kind of, if we get to the hour mark and haven't thrown the game away yet, or conceded, and if we get a 4th here, I think that's pretty much the game over. Reverse pass here to Wademan in midfield. He can work it out to the right-hand side where we've got a 2v1. Finds right now on the overlap. Can he get the ball in? Just stands it up, back stick. Rafinha's there, it hits the crossbar, and then they manage to scramble it away. Highlight continues here, and they're nearly 3v3 at the back. We've dropped quite well, actually. McCluskey with a good header away, and thankfully the highlight comes to an end. If we get to the hour mark, I think we're okay, and we could potentially look at some of this conditioning rather than actual match ratings to manage everyone for the last game of the year. It's a good header. They've pulled one back. Oh no, he's going to be ruled out for offside. Suleiman did well, got himself goal side, got his head to the ball, but he must have just left a little bit before the free kick was taken. Right, we're through an hour now. We're going to make 2 subs. I'm going to bring off both Rafinha and Wademan, which is a little bit risky. They've both played relatively well, but I just want to manage their fitness and conditioning heading into the last game, which is obviously the more important of the 2. We'll hold on to that last sub. John Mash will come in on the left-hand side, Lee Wilson will come in as the Messiah on attack. We're going to go passionately. I have faith in you both. And we'll hold on to that last sub for the last 10 minutes or so and just use it to chew up some time. These subs still haven't gone through. There we go. And we're going to use our Get Creative shout for the last 25 minutes or so. See if we can't find an additional goal and kill the game off. Or worst case scenario, just hold the ball. We just need to keep possession. Scunthorpe are in no danger of doing anything. Last sub now, we're going to bring on Grant Davies just up top as the poacher. Knowles will see out the 90 minutes. Birch has been excellent, but we'll try and save him for the last game as well. Wilson with a strike from distance. Not a bad effort. It was curling very late past the goalkeeper. We've also used our demand more shout now that we're in the last 10, just to give everyone focused till full time. 3 minutes to be added on. We're through most of that now. Is the referee going to call full time? He has indeed. That's one win that we need. We've got no 6-point episodes so far this week. We've got the first one. Let's see how we go here. 6 shots, 1 on target, 37% possession for Scunthorpe. 16 shots, 8 on target, 63% possession for us, and a 3-0 win. Rafinha, Wolf, and Birch getting amongst the goals. Passionately, I'm going to say very pleased with the result in your performance, boys. That's one hand on the trophy. Next time out, we've just got to get that other hand on there, and then we're ready to go. Holy shit, have we just won the league? What happened in Charlton's game? This is entirely underwhelming, but Forest Green have actually pulled an absolute screamer out. 92nd minute. Fidel O'Rourke has been the bane of my existence many, many times and was kicking our ass in the last episode, has managed to hand us the divisional title. So it's a bit underwhelming to win it like that and not actually pay attention enough to the game itself. But FC Isle of Man clinched the Sky Bet League 1 title Franz Wolf gets the Man of the Match award. He's been immense all season, an 8.1 match rating. Rafinha's set for a goal bonus. He's 1 goal away from 10 league goals. That's fine, not worried about that. FC Isle of Man have won Sky Bet League 1. We'll certainly look back on some great wins along the way, perhaps the most notably being a highly impressive 4-1 dismantling of Coventry, an emphatic 4-0 win against Southend, a comprehensive 3-0 triumph versus Blackpool, and a comfortable 3-0 humbling of Plymouth. Somebody definitely has a thesaurus or a synonym book or something to that effect, because that's a lot of different descriptive words to talk about wins. Blackpool secure a playoff spot. Fantastic. Who gives a shit about Blackpool? Sean in the mixer has taken his claim as one of the top Australian managers. What's that Hall of Fame look like? Oh, it's me from the PSG save, where we won the League One. It's me from Melbourne City from our stream save. And it's me from Isle of Man. 7 domestic divisional trophies, which feels like I should be higher up this list, but that's fine. We'll let that go. Isle of Man fans are ecstatic. We were 85-1 pre-season odds. We were expected to finish at the bottom of the division again, and we have again upset all the critics, all the bookmakers, whoever else you're talking about. I don't know why. We consistently do this. So why don't they just make us the favourites every year? It makes absolutely no sense to me. The board are ecstatic. Fantastic to see. Please give me some cash, boys. Birch praises in the mix-up. Fantastic. Thank you, Marky Birch. Medals. Everybody pretty much should get a medal from the squad. We've used most of the squad throughout the course of the season. Any of the guys who've actually left the club get them, or do they lose once they actually leave the club? Yeah, I can't see like Dwayne Record or anyone in here, so I guess they miss out, which is unfortunate. Let's give the Wolf a bit of praise. His first goal for the club as well. Superb in the number and quality and chances, and he has been magnificent. He's definitely one of the players that I think isn't just necessarily going to do well at a championship level. He may potentially get us through to Premier League football if he makes the most of this potential ability that he's got here. I don't really know what to do now. That was earlier than I was expecting it to come through. So we've got a full week for the game against Salford. Let's go and let everyone celebrate a little bit. Let's clear out the squad here. Let's go and let everybody celebrate. Training, rest. Let's go with 3 days rest. Go and have a bender, boys. We'll hit the bars. If they're open, 2028 might still be in lockdown. Who knows? But magic of editing, we're going to jump forward to the game against Salford. We'll play that game, and then we'll have a look at the end of season awards, all that sort of great stuff that comes through as well. All right, we're a week ahead. The celebrations went great. I'm still feeling hungover at this point, but we are effectively going with an unchanged lineup into the last game of the season. The other 2 centre-backs are still suspended, so it must have been like 10 or 15 yellow cards for the year that they've picked up. Salford look quite good. They're still spending a shitload of cash. The ridiculous thing is that some of the wages that they were paying at like a Vanarama national level or Sky Bet League 2 level are still higher than what we're paying now that we're going up into the championship, and they have the quality around the team. They've got Robbie Burton here in the centre of midfield, comes through the Arsenal Academy. Very, very good player if you can pick him up. Wonderful, silky midfielder. They're paying him $5,000 a week, which is just mind-boggling. I think 3 or 4 of our best players combined aren't earning that amount. They've got Badeau at the back as well, who looks to be a very good left-sided centre-back. I love a left-footed centre-back in a side. He seems to be quality as well, coming through the Aston Villa Academy. The leading scorer up top, Colin Mars, looks to be a bit more of a target man. I think he came through the Millwall Academy, then Nottingham Forest, before Salford had picked him up and given him his first team football for this season. He looks fairly quality. And the other one that I think we're going to have to keep an eye on is Lameka on the right-hand side here. He looks to be a bit of a beast, playing a little bit deeper than what he'd like, the ex-Crystal Palace junior, but he's chipped in with 8 goals and 3 assists in the league so far this season, so he looks like he's going to be a bit of a handful as well. If we've won the division, I'm not going to be worried about the result. I'm not going to crack it or anything, but if we want to win, let's win it by the biggest margin possible, and let's get 3 points and really make sure of it. Media have given you a lot of credit lately. Go out there, put on a worthy display. It works every time. Like, why do I even question it at this point? Ball in here from the corner. It's headed away by Dean. Rafinha at the top of the box just needs to clear it. He sent it down the left-hand channel. And if Birch had been a little bit more switched on, maybe he could have picked up possession there and gotten 1v1. But now we looked at in the build-up, splits it out left to their fullback Folds. Kearney looking to go around the outside on the left wing. Deep ball across. Donkin's done quite well to come and claim. Is that the end of the highlight, or are we going to see a little bit more of a counter-attack here? Just keep possession, boys. We don't need to rush anything this early in the game. It's the 8th minute. Good throw to Wademan, who can turn and drive at the midfield. Forward to Knowles. Reverse pass towards Birch on the left-hand side. Can he find the finish? It's a good tackle from McLaughlin, who manages to get the ball out for the throw-in. Wademan, free kick from a wide area. Birch, back post, manages to pinball it around. And Keith Coates, in what will definitely be his last appearance for the club, because he's already signed contract back in Ireland for next season. He manages to sign off with a goal, his first goal for the club and for the season. Wonderful strike from Birch. Oxborough does as well as he could possibly do. And Coates, just the fox in the box there, smashes it home on his favoured left foot to give us the 1 goal advantage, 25 minutes played. 10 minutes remaining, just going to demand more, give everyone some focus through to half-time. They've got a highlight here. It's through Lameka. John looks for a ball over the top. Coates with a good header away. Burton tidies up in midfield for Salford. Played back through Badeau. Good searching ball out to the left wing to Kearney. Looks for the switch. Morris should have probably brought the ball down. Instead, he heads it directly to Lameka. Good tackle there from Morris, though. Does quite well. And Wademan's gone and taken it away from Smith in midfield. Can he hit the reverse pass here to Knowles? Just play him in. Instead, he goes to drive himself. Maybe could have looked to play in the striker there. Just that little 5-yard forward pass would have put him 1v1 with the keeper. Wademan, wide free kick, chance to redeem himself. Puts the ball back in. Coates was in the area again. Back out to Wademan, who squares it to Rafinha. Looks it for Knowles, and they manage to scramble it away. Well, I thought the highlight was going to continue there with the ball at McCluskey, but it comes to an end. 1 minute added on here at the end of the first half. 9 shots, 4 on target, 62% possession for Isle of Man, and a 1-goal lead. They've had 2 shots, 1 on target, 38%. We're going to passionately say. Media have given them a lot of credit lately. Why question it? If it's working, just keep that dice rolling. What is that? I shouldn't be making any motions like that during a stream or during an episode recording. Waiting with a good ball in. Daniel Knowles with his 14th goal of the season. Knowles, what's going on? And he has pretty much sealed the victory for us today, I would think. I don't think Salford, from what they've shown so far, have 3 goals in them. It's a sellout crowd here in the Isle of Man Stadium. Why is everyone only sitting on one side? Do we pay less if we only open up one particular part of the stadium? Goal kick here, Donkin to take, McCluskey. Anything beyond this at the moment is just a luxury. Knowles sends the ball, the Wolf sends the ball in behind for Daniel Knowles, gets the strike away. Maybe could have looked to slide that one back post to try and give Mark Birch the tap in, share a bit of the love. Instead, he goes to drive himself from the edge of the area. All right, last subs of the season. We've got 3 guys here who aren't playing particularly well. It's the 2 fullbacks. Morris, we don't have a backup left back on the bench, but we do have a backup right back. So Nelson's going to drop out. Wright will play as the wing back on defend. He's got a bit of a knock, but I'd like to see him actually play the last game of the season. Ricky Dean also will give him a bit of a rest. Clive Williams will come on, potentially making his last game or last appearance for the club as well. I don't think he's got enough ability to play at the higher division. And given that we've been playing him as a right midfielder for 2 years and he still can't get his head around the role, I think we've probably seen enough of him. And then the last one, our leading scorer for the season, is still going to end up being Grant Davies. Let's give him an opportunity in case we do sell him in the off-season to wave goodbye to everybody that's watching along. Passionately, I have faith in you. Get out there and make a difference. Everyone's responded positively. I think Davies is actually an outside shout to still win the Golden Boot for the division somehow. Ball forward for Knowles. It's with Davies now. Can he go around the outside? He resets through Morris, the fullback. Looks to play in Rafinha. Can he get around the man and wrap his foot around the ball? Squares it up towards Davies near post and he gets the strike away somehow, but Oxborough equal to it. Pushes it out for the corner. Just stay at the corner flag, boys. Hang out there for 25 minutes if you want. Ball towards Coates, and he's managed to put one across. Daniel Knowles is going to be offside in the build-up. Not sure if he was offside from the original corner or from the flick-on header, but that one is ruled out. Coates, deep free kick. Played forward now. There was no one particularly around. McLaughlin with a free header. Burton at the base of midfield doing quite well. Reverse pass to Warner Eli. Now out to Lameka, who seems to have switched sides with some of the subs that Salford have made. He'll be cutting in now on his favoured right foot. Wademan does quite well to win possession back, and then Davies just kind of gave up on it, really. Didn't switch on to anything. Mars in behind, gets the strike away. Good save from Donkin. Least lads, just maintain your focus. Let's keep a clean sheet, boys. Just everyone get behind the ball. Connery in possession now from the corner. Puts one across and Badeau. All he had to do was aim front post. Instead, he puts it straight at Donkin, who does very well to claim and hold. 15 minutes remaining. We've got to throw in here on the right-hand side. Lewis Wright's going to take. Knowles is on his own. Just keep the ball in the corner, Daniel. Don't do anything silly. Back to the Wolf, who goes for his 2nd goal in as many games. And he's got the taste now. Wolf's tasted the blood. He wants more. And he smashed that one into the top corner. McLaughlin's flick one out. Wademan's managed to clear it off the line. And then Williams actually gets his head on it to force it out for the throw. So still a little bit of a danger here coming through from Salford. Donkin. Forward to McCluskey. Back to Donkin again. Long ball forward towards Davies. Does quite well to knock it down for Wademan. Reverse pass to Davies. Releases him now. Can he find the finish? It's an excellent finish from Grant Davies. 21st goal of the season for him. And he has found a little bit of form late on, but it was too little too late, Grant. We needed you in that middle run when we were really struggling. He's done quite well, though. Wademan drives the ball into midfield, which he does tremendously well. Lovely little reverse pass. And then once he gets goal side, that's the Davies that we had in the first 10 games of the season. As soon as he was goal side, getting it on that left peg, he was going to try and find a finish. And he's managed to do it there. We're going to demand more here for the last 10 minutes. Everyone seems focused. Everyone seems confident. I just want to see out the rest of this game and keep the clean sheet. 3 minutes to be added on. We're through the majority of that now, though there is a late highlight here. John with the throw-in for Salford. Lameka with the ball in midfield. Just stand him up, boys. No need to commit. Cuts back on his right foot towards the top of the box. Resets through Burton. Ball over the top for Connery, the overlapping fullback. They are pushing on a little bit here, and Mars with the header straight at Donkin. The referee blows for full time. It's a fantastic performance to close out the season. 3-0 victors, 23 shots, 10 on target, 58% possession for Salford. 10 shots, 6 on target, 42%. They definitely came into it a little bit in the second half, but the game was already lost at that stage. passionately, let's say, very happy with the result and the way he played, and everybody has responded positively. Look at all this green. Look at all these compasses pointing north as far as morale is concerned. That's about as good a finish to the season as you can hope for. And we end up winning the division by 6 points in the end. What happened to Charlton? They drew 1-1 with Wimbledon on the last day of the season. The wheels well and truly came off for them. We finished with 44 games played, 27 wins, 8 draws, 9 losses, 38 goal difference, and 89 points. Didn't quite crack 90, but that's fine. I can't be too greedy. McLaughlin bids a farewell to Salford. He's going to head off to wherever else. Keith Coates is heading off to somewhere else. And Rafinha gets the Man of the Match award, an 8.7 match rating. Fantastic work for him. Tony Mowbray was the Salford manager. Who really cares about him, though? Let's tell Rafinha he was excellent. It'd be interesting to see, actually, with Rafinha, if he can push on and play at the higher division. He has dropped off some of his potential ability yet, but I guess there's still time for him to make the most of those remaining stars. We get 29.56k for achieving first place in Sky Bet League 1, which seems a little bit low if I'm being completely honest. Financially, though, we are in a good spot. We're at £1.3 million as a balance. And where are we at with our transfer budget? We've got 2.15 million. I'm not sure if that came through and I just didn't notice it. 2.15 million for next season. 21k as wage budget available. That is absolutely mind-boggling. We're going to be able to bring in some real talent coming through. Speaking of, though, it's not a nice part, but we do have a couple of guys that are going to be heading off. We're not going to renew Clive Williams' contract. We know Keith Coates is leaving. We're probably not going to renew Mark Birch's either, and Dylan Price is also leaving. So we're going to pass those guys on. They're going to go back down into the under-23 squad, and that effectively leaves us with a squad of 16 that we're going into next season with. We will get some reinforcements in. We're probably going to look to go in with about 25 players, I think, a couple of extras for a few different positions. Still got a lot of potential ability out there, still got some very good current ability as well, and a good spread of players across a variety of positions. Given that we're going up in the championship, we're probably also going to look into the loan market. If you remember last season, we had a few different loan players come in, one of which, Waderman, we actually signed on a full-time contract once we could get him. We'll probably leverage that same market again to stay up in the championship. Next season, just looking to stay up, not looking to do anything crazy, not looking to reinvent the wheel. We're going to jump forward a couple of days now and look at our end-of-season awards and see all that sort of great stuff from the season itself. All right, here we go. We've got a good few awards here as well. As far as the overall best 11 squad, Lewis Wright is one of the players that's actually been inducted into the team. He's going to play at right fullback, which is very interesting the way that that's kind of changed over time. He's actually mind-boggling still the only active player still playing up there. I would have thought for sure that Record would be getting into this front line at some point, but Charlie Ball, you forget how many goals he actually got for us back in the day. Austin Samuels was obviously magnificent as well. He didn't really get many opportunities this season at Blackpool either, which is very disappointing to see. Haygarth, Uri, Hodgson, Aris, some very, very great names back there. Longello's, funnily enough, playing at left back instead of left wing, which is where we used him the majority of his career with us. And the only other active player in the squad is Ricky Dean, it looks like, who's on the bench and not quite involved. He will play with us again next season, though, and get more opportunities. I go back to the where are we now. There's a few that are still playing. I'm not going to focus too much on them. I want to focus on these results here. The player of the season, Franz Wolf with 47% of the vote, Sean Waderman 27%, and Rafinha 16%. Our midfield is what drove us through. There's some interesting results here. They've still picked Davies leading the line up top, even though I think Record was more effective on a per game basis. And they've gone with Nelson as the right back instead of Lewis Wright, and Morris as the left back instead of Preston Kelly, the two that played the majority of the season. Goal of the season went to Clive Williams for our game against Wolves under 23s in the leasing.com trophy. This was a 1-1 game where we actually finished the match with 9 men. I cannot remember the goal to save myself, so we're going to see what comes up here. Throw in, taken by Wolves. McDonald tries to crossfield switch. Williams picks it up in a good area, knocks it back to Birch, and then Williams with the strike. It's a fairly venomous strike from about 35 yards to make it 1-0. And an excellent, excellent goal. Went on to win that one on penalties because the leasing.com has weird rules. Signing of the season, Franz Wolf, and young player of the season, 19-year-old Franz Wolf. Otherwise, though, pretty much what I would expect out of the end-of-season awards. Season review, fantastic result. I think everybody is thrilled to be finishing the season as champions, and heading up to the championship is what I should be trying to say. We're now nearly 10 years down the track. There's a few from the 2022 side. Victor Maffeo still playing at the moment for Halesowen. We played him in the FFA Cup FA Cup. My brain has completely melted. I have drunk way too much at our title celebration. The Open Top Boss Tour is a blur to me, and I've lost the ability to speak. There's a good few other players in there that you guys can have a look at. Oh, Luke Cundall. Do you remember Luke Cundall? He was amazing. It's a shame that he's retired now after finishing up his career at Colchester, but what a player he was back in the day. Club vision expectations. Let's see how this is going to change for next season. It's pretty much all straightforward. Fight Bradley against relegation. I think that's fair. I think that's what we expect. And as far as squad dynamics, Tyrone Taylor, Daniel Knowles are the two highly influential players. Lewis Wright, Ricky Dean, Preston Kelly and Wademan. A lot of those guys are now in their second seasons with the club, so it makes sense that they will be moving towards influential player territory. End of season team meeting, we're going to say assertively. Here's what I'm going to go with. Assertively, you've done brilliantly to get us promoted, and even though we'll probably come back down, I'm going to give us the best chance of avoiding relegation by bringing in some new faces. I've never really been relegated, famous last words, I know, but everybody respond positively to that. But I do think we should have enough to stay in the division. It may be tough. We may finish in the bottom half for, I think, really the first time in the series, but I do think we can do it. And we've got the first pre-season training camp. We haven't had one of these at any point yet. We can go to the northwest of England or we can go to Scotland. So we're really breaking the bank on this one. Let's go to Scotland and let's play a couple of teams up in the SPL. Let's quickly jump forward a little bit. We'll have a look at some of the divisional results. I want to see who wins the playoffs and is Sunderland actually finally get out of the division. And also we'll have a look at some of the league awards as well as they get awarded into May. Okay, interesting one here. Board have announced plans to enlarge the stadium by 1,000 seats. It's going to cost 1.2 million, which is fine. No massive concerns. It'll only take us to 5,460 capacity, and it's not going to be completed. Oh, actually, it's not going to take that long. It should be completed by August, which is great to see. I think we actually need that to now comply with the championship requirements for seated stadiums and all that sort of thing. Second legs of the playoffs here, both Sunderland and Wigan won the first legs against Oxford and Blackpool respectively. We'll see how these play out. And Wigan have gone through 4-1. Sunderland have gone through after a 2-0 victory at home. It's going to be Wigan versus Sunderland in the playoff final. All right, a little bit further ahead, and Ironman chairman Peter Clark has sensationally quashed reports of the potential takeover at the club by a rich benefactor. Don't you tease me, Sports Interactive. Don't you give me false hope that we're getting some cash. But Wigan are playing Sunderland today in the in the playoff final. It has been about 3 weeks since the first leg. I'm not sure why the delay. And Wigan have actually gone up. It's a weird one. I was in two minds. I thought Wigan would be great if they go up because it's a guaranteed 6 points for us next season. But Sunderland were definitely the better side. But Wigan have got enough about them to return to championship football, which is crazy to see. We get 723k for where we've participated and finished in the League One system. And where are we going to see these end of season awards? Are they going to get given out anytime soon? Franz Wolf claims the player of the year for the season. Well and truly deserves 7.36 average rating over 40 appearances. And considering he doesn't score that much, that is phenomenal. Passionately, we're going to say him congratulations on the award. And he is in perfect morale at the moment. Somehow Grant Davies wins the Sky Bet League One top goal scorer award. It's insane that he had, I think, like 15 goals on the 1st of January and still only finishes the season with 18, and that's enough to come level with Martin Irving from Chesterfield and Stephen Logan from Blackpool. We're going to give him a bit of a boost as well. Passionately will tell him, and he's at least responded positively. I win the manager of the year. Of course I do. I well and truly deserve it. Chairman Peter Clark's pleased, but that's fine, mate. Sell the club. And look at this. The only position that we missed out on was left back as far as the players' team of the year goes. That is absolutely insane. Knowles and Davies make it up top. Our midfield four makes it. Taylor, Smith, and Wright make it as the 3 of the 4 central defenders. And Donkin, of course, in goal. Purrington from Charlton obviously had a magnificent season, but Jesus Christ, are they not rating any of the other teams in the league at that particular point? Absolute madness. What an episode. I'm exhausted. I'm sweating like an absolute pig, mainly because these box lights do not seem to go well with the tie being wrapped around your head. If you want to help celebrate our divisional title and our promotion up into the championship, please drop a like on this video. Please subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all videos as they continue to be released. We'll be back next week with some championship football, a whole new squad to go through. I've got a lot of work to do during this off-season, it would appear. But very sincerely, thank you so much for enjoying the ride along with me. As always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you guys next time in the Mixer.